Thank you to Fume for sponsoring this video. Cold turkey may be a great sandwich topping, but there's a better way to break your bad habits. And no, we don't mean going to an eccentric chocolate factory to get turned into a blueberry to kick the habit. We're talking about our sponsor, Fume. Fume is an innovative, award-nominated device that can make replacing your bad habit easy. Fume has served over 100,000 customers, and if your attempts to break your bad habit have been difficult, Fume may be just what you're looking for. Join Fume in accelerating humanity's breakup from destructive habits by picking up the Journey Pack today. Head to tryfume.com/CinemaSins or scan the QR code for a quick link. Use the code CinemaSins for 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. That's tryfume, tryfum.com, and use code CinemaSins for an additional 10% off your order. The Discovery Channel. Also the Discovery Channel. But also the Discovery Channel. Unless it was cosplay day at the Acropolis Museum, I refuse to believe that anyone would be allowed to walk into one of the world's most important museums unchecked. If I had to remove my Vader mask and relinquish my lightsaber, these two chuckle fucks should have at least been restrained at the door for a helmet check.
Museums are fun. Amusement parks for the brains.
But aren't all amusement parks for the brains? Pretty sure the brain is also involved in processing roller coasters, the taste of cotton candy, and whether or not to need the freaky giant mascot suit dude in his friar tux.
Okay, there's no reason to get pushy. Everyone will get a chance to see it.
Yeah, sure, boo on the bad guy for shoving a child as a wink to their evilness. But what about the tour guide that doesn't react sternly? Or the nearby parents who clearly aren't watching their kid because if they were, the mom would be on their asses so fast? Are they bad too? I say yes!
That's enough. I'm sort of the star of the show here.
What show? The only other person that was paying attention to you was just shoved out of the way. This museum glass would not be this easily moved or easily shattered, and security would be there much faster. I can't legally tell you how I know this, but I can tell you that the f***ers at the Icelandic Phallological Museum are a bunch of dicks. How does the whispered phrase turn into a physical brawl like this? When someone told me to unleash my chaos, I'd strip naked and dance on a car with noodles draped around my forearm so that when I needed a snack, I could munch and move on to the crescendo of my act, which involves a chalk art perspective street performance that doesn't actually make an optical illusion. It just forces people to lie and say they can totally see how standing just right makes it look like you're falling into a sinkhole filled with lava. Bringing a baton to a magic fight. See, not even people in this realm understand how to use the Dune armor properly. If it isn't enough convenience that in a place with a bunch of old rock statues, that one of their magic powers just happens to be to use old rock statues to turn people into new rock statues, can someone just answer me why they didn't start with this?
I don't deserve these powers, if I'm being honest. Like, what am I even contributing?
When the movie thinks it's being self-deprecating, but doesn't realize it's actually speaking truth.
You understand I'm a pediatrician.
A pediatrician with a professionally decorated office that only uses this designated area for any child-specific things for reasons. Also forcing a cameo for one of the most frightening dolls in the history of pop culture. Raggedy Ann will f*** you up, man.
And again, pediatrician, not a psychiatrist, but it sounds to me like you're experiencing imposter syndrome.
In the same amount of time it took this doctor to clarify his profession and disqualify his opinion, he could have easily picked up the phone and gotten the name for a referral. Hell, in this universe where gods and superheroes exist, he could have found someone who specializes in superhero therapy.
Doctor conjured 7 demons and held my whole family hostage.
Using fake therapy as an excuse to exposition the entirety of your first movie in 30 seconds.
I never said I was rejected by my city.
See, this is why going to a professional is a good idea. They would never dig into the past, decode the central issue as rejection, thrust that wound open wide with printed proof, and then let the person asking for help walk out the door.
I suck balls at this.
I've never wanted to smack a kid on the back of the head so badly. Spit that gum out. That wad is taking up the entire right side of your mouth.
She's very moody lately.
Why do you think I put Skittles in her pocket?
Fist-bumping terrible decisions. It is currently daylight, the blinds are open, letting in the sun, so why are we lamping?
Whoa, whoa! Where's everyone going?
That these two are clueless to the fact that every time Billy says,
Man, it sure is a beautiful day in Philadelphia.
all their kids disappear and lightning strikes near the house is making it very hard for me to think they shouldn't get their foster care license revoked.
Shazam!
How do these guys still even have secret identities when they yell their superpower magic word in the middle of a street during broad daylight?
Okay, let's go.
And then all the people in this car immediately died of whiplash. Also, why is she pushing this entire car? And how would there even be the room with all the vehicles and people panicking around it? I guarantee she manslaughtered a dozen or so people by saving them this way.
Fortunately, there are no casualties.
Not even one? That bridge was falling apart and crushing cars a full 3 minutes before the puberty posse arrived.
Is that a kitten?
And now he needs confirmation on if this is a kitten or not? Seriously, guys, get this man some help. Aha! The power source of their lair is revealed, so we can all enjoy this scene without wondering how anything has power. But the joke's on you, movie, because no one should be enjoying watching or being in this scene with this noise echoing off the cave walls. There! Now we have an authentic situation and can enjoy this scene. Mike Wazowski is not getting splinters repairing a door in this scene.
It's right that I give Tawny back.
You stole the cat?
Victor and Rosa can barely pay rent.
And yet you guys have this cool lair that you've decked out with a big screen TV, a full generator, and a Mortal Kombat 2 arcade cabinet. Maybe chip in on rent a bit. You really need 4 of these things in this tiny room. Overcandling's long-lost cousin Overtorching has entered the chat.
Do you not remember what you took? What my particular power was?
No, but I bet you're going to tell us, even though that detail doesn't really matter to anyone but the filmmakers trying to push some exposition out.
Never say never.
Using a phrase so illogical it only takes 3 words to break its own rule twice.
Say the word.
I guess I just don't understand why saying the word wouldn't complete her demands.
Fun is for children, dear. We are at war.
But why not both?
New girl, first period. I'm Brett. This is Burke.
First, I'm not sure how they know she just started her first cycle. Second, why does every high school movie or show ever, including the first Shazam, start with the bullies magically showing up ready to go full bully, like they're trying to get enough bully stamps to get a free bully sub at Subway?
Now I'm a superhero. Nice. Gee, thanks, Mr. Gackle.
Thanking the guy who saw the whole thing and decided the consequences for the assholes who destroyed your forearm crutch should be clearing my throat and then acting like it never happened. Oh, are we calling cooking class culinary arts now? What's shop class called now? Metallic arts? Show me the fingernail splitter, you dick! I was eating, goddammit! Being freaked out by Jamon Honsu's head on Wonder Woman's body instead of just going with it.
I regret ever choosing you.
But later, when the movie needs another dose of acceptance and love, Wizard Man insists he made the right choice. Funny how words are basically meaningless.
Shazam!
So why does the crutch disappear but his phone doesn't? Who's deciding this shit? Also, pretending like you can find a decent phone with wired headphones.
We need to talk. We need to talk. This guy loves to talk. He's a great talker. Freddy.
There's plenty to pick on in this movie, and I will continue to enjoy pointing it all out. But the absolute worst part of this entire franchise is that it completely miscasts these two. Fun, frantic Freddy acts more like a young Shazam than boring wet blanket Billy does, and it rips me out of the movie every single time they are on screen together. There's no reason for this person to be wasting time and effort on disposing food like this. The school kitchen has trash cans indoors and water sprayers to get the food off. She is outside to get away from the chaos, and I can relate to that. I waited tables once and took smoke breaks even though I didn't smoke. I just held the cigarette until it burned away just for the excuse to have a mint to myself. I mean, look at her. She threw the dish away and doesn't even care.
Do you have to talk so loud?
Is there any reason Mary needs to be hung over in this scene? Is it just so we can get the non-funny dialogue between her and Darla about being at the eye doctor? And wouldn't her superhero self have super healing or super metabolism or something to keep this from happening? I didn't watch all She-Hulk for nothing, you know. These googly eyes just make me wish I was re-sinning everything everywhere all at once. The movie, not actually sinning everything everywhere all at once. Actually, even that would be better than this.
Hey, Steve.
Thinking this pen is cool magic when it's basically just real-life chat GPT, but a lot slower.
You know, I've actually never been up here.
Because you shouldn't be up here. Why do people tempt gravity like this? Gravity is undefeated, people. Undefeated!
Stay right there. Hey, Captain Everypower. What's going on? It's your boy Freddy.
Look, if you tell me you can put me in touch with a superhero and then you disappear and the superhero appears, I will instantly, without a doubt, 100% know you are the superhero. This is as certain as the phrase, I don't mean to be an asshole, being followed directly by something only an asshole would say.
Until the rebellion, when the humans turned on the gods.
I'm reading about that right now.
Of course you are, because how else would we effectively text-position all this important backstory if everyone didn't just happen to be at the exact place in their book to be able to continue the story? Good thing they went with the name part instead of the powers part, because Sippix is much harder to shout.
A bizarre and gruesome scene unfolded.
Sudden and quickly available Wolf Blitzer news position is sudden and quickly available. And Wolf Blitzer, which if you study your Mission Impossible, you know can never be trusted.
We also now know what they look like, so when they come to hunt us, we'll see those two coming.
Three. Oh, for sake, he brought that giant book back in here to read and is just now picking it up to make this revelation.
Atlas had 3 daughters. Calypso, Hespera, and Thea.
Thea.
I refuse to believe that the guy who thought it was the wisdom of Solo Man would also be able to connect these random dots that quickly.
Mr. G, what?
And just like that, Mr. G will now take his own life by walking off the side of the building. Superhero movies. Fun for the whole family.
I forgot how easily they burst.
On Tuesdays, kids under 12 get into the show for free.
Clip his wings, Anthea.
But didn't you just take Freddy's powers with the magic Groot arm? Why try to inception buildings at Shazam when you could just send another jolt his way? Hespera starts this dome spell now and somehow times it perfectly to allow them through the top and stop Shazam just in the nick of time. Look, I took physics and geometry, and that's some lucky shit.
The unidentified barrier appears to be in the shape of a dome, with no one allowed into the city or out.
Basing your plot on CBS's Under the Dome. Although if Dean Norris shows up, I'm taking this sin back.
Wait a second. Hagrid beard, Batman voice.
This recognition so blatantly cross-promotes other Warner Brothers characters, I'm surprised he didn't finish with Matrix Twins, Dreads, and the blanket from the Police Academy movies.
How about an arcane focus?
I don't even know what that is.
Not knowing what an arcane focus is, which I totally know, because I'm super into the D squared, as the kids say.
There's a tooth in here.
And probably some shit in a corner and a wandering beetle. What are we doing here, movie? Is this your riveting dialogue centering us on the purpose of this film? Fucking tooth. Jesus.
If they just point that staff at us, we dodge. Like dodgeball.
Thinking you can dodge magic the same way you dodged a third grader throwing a ball at you. Earlier, Darla stuffed Skittles into Mary's pockets, and now Pedro's eating them. Is this movie a Skittles commercial? Well, at least it couldn't get any worse.
Dear Daughters of Atlas.
And then the director said, can we use an apple for the important ancient relic in this movie and then focus the camera on it so intently that the audience will know we're the assholes for foreshadowing it so hard?
He's lying.
That's your superpower, not mine.
But did Anne lie? Sure, she had ulterior motives, but she never said she wasn't a god with the power to move buildings. You just inferred it.
Destiny's Child did it better.
Freddy would be bootylicious at CinemaSins.
Should we proofread it? Nah, Steve doesn't make mistakes.
This direct transcription bit is funny, I guess, but there are 5 of them standing around the table, and then it's not like Steve is hiding his writing. He's doing it in plain sight. Mary, at the very least, would have spotted this.
The pit is just a bad name for a fun place, right?
Laugh if you want, but I'm sending the English language for not being clear on this. Snake pit, scary. Barbecue pit, yummy. Armpit, gross. Ball pit, well, also gross, but maybe fun. Make up your mind, English! Deus Ex Anthea. For a bunch of people trapped in a dome with no access to fresh supplies, everyone is acting incredibly casual about their prison. Having your meeting at Sam's instead of Gino's or Pat's. I guess we're adding teleportation to the list of things the elemental can do, because there's no way she was that sneaky.
You play the part of a man, but you do not play it well.
Actually, I think it's playing the part of an adolescent that he's struggling with right now, because he's been sitting there for quite a while and hasn't eaten a single fry.
Because I've seen all of the Fast and the Furious movies, lady.
Sorry, force of habit, but also Helen Mirren was in 4 Fast and Furious movies, and maybe that's the joke. But when your joke breaks the universe, that's no longer a joke, it's a sin.
Yeah.
Woo! Premature celebration! I'm so tired of beings with undefined power punching each other and slamming each other into things as if I'm supposed to believe any of it means anything. Take all the dumb fighting out of superhero movies. If nothing else, this would help movies go back to being a tight 90.
Welcome to the Rock of Eternity.
Sharing this special highly secret information with your enemy within seconds of arriving.
And get rid of the dome.
Oh, yeah. And get rid of the dome.
Thanks, Darla. Like Billy, I also had forgotten about the dome. Appreciate a script that can admit it has whole plot lines the audience doesn't actually care about. How did Hespera know exactly where the seed was? And more importantly, why wasn't it secured in a vault or something? If you know it's important, at least make people pass some grail trials or some shit.
Oh, wait, hold up. Didn't you say that was somewhere safe?
Billy.
That's not on Billy, you idiots. He didn't even know about it. He's a moron for many reasons, but giving up the golden apple isn't one of them. Doing an Indiana Jones impersonation when you should be sneaking the back out of there.
Laden, world eater. Rise from the pit!
And by rise, what I mean is somehow follow the pituitary squad into their hideout even though they're flying lightning fast and had a huge head start. Although the dragon is far too big to fit through the labyrinth door, that doesn't seem to matter at all. Somehow, by willpower alone, the dragon pushes the door into the wall of the cavern and breaks through into our world. Does that mean that the portal grew to encompass the dragon's size and is now a gaping path between worlds? Or are we just going to pretend that the portal is meaningless once the action finally takes off? Wait, when did Layden go back and pick up Calypso? Did she somehow walk here herself? Is there a dragon lift app I don't know about? Yes! Run with your human legs rather than scoop up the family with your superhero speed and get the out of there. pretending not only that we haven't seen the Batman choice a million times before, but also that we have any doubt what's about to happen here.
Fitting place for a garden.
This line is not set in Boston. Wanting a director cameo so bad you're willing to be hoisted by your own petard.
I'm over 6,000 years old.
Certainly seems inappropriate.
Well then, parents, do something about it. I find it laughable that Anne appears out of thin air and then has to walk out of the parking garage like a normie.
But when you shed your powers, you did not.
Skip!
Your fanatical tone echoes our Uncle Hades.
Says the person that gleefully turned an entire room of people into statues when she didn't have to.
If your emotions rest with the humans, so, Anne, then perhaps you should be human.
Can we talk about Anne's power for a bit? Everything we've seen indicates that this power is an actual physical movement of the world around her. She slams a building into Billy, she blocks a dragon with a wall. But if this is the case, how does everything resort itself when she's done? And why does it look like she's less moving stuff and more just teleporting to a different street here? Someone was like, just show a bunch of buildings that do Rubik's Cube stuff and then just put everything where you need it to be for the story. Who'll even care? CinemaSins cares, motherfuckers. CinemaSins cares. After literally moving heaven and earth to avoid a shot from the wooden power adapter, and now sees it coming from a mile away and just stands there.
Hey, Steve.
This cheeky little bugger stole Steve out of the ancient library of world knowledge. I don't know if that's what it was called, because this movie is terrible about explaining basically anything, but the point is, she's a thief.
Anne! Anne!
Oh, come on. Philly is a big city, right? Like more than 4 blocks or so at least.
Yeah, go high voltage.
Oh, what's up, bro?
And now the guy from the cheesesteak place earlier, like a big metropolis, right? Like more than 100 or so population.
Hello.
How the f did they find a unicorn so quickly? Is there a Find My Monster app I don't know about?
Taste the rainbow.
Oh, f you moving in the capitalistic unicorn you rode in on.
Taste the rainbow, motherfucker.
You know, for kids. Also, I swear this movie now has the most obnoxious product placement since the Power Rangers discovered Krispy Kreme.
Layden, kill the traitor.
But then take a really long time doing it, like enough time for someone to crawl with maximum effort at a painfully slow pace, and then have a heartfelt chat, and then scream some more, and then just very slowly put your mouth over them. Take maybe 3 full minutes. You see, magic is just magic, but the love of a 6,000-year-old god who you just met and who kind of betrayed you for a bit is the strongest force of all.
Remove the dome. As long as I still breathe, the dome still stands.
Which honestly should have been your first clue a while back that she survived this. Well, that's just a waste of Dragon's Breath.
I'm Captain Everypower Jr. Don't you forget it.
Dwayne Johnson's nickname for Shazam somehow makes it into the script.
We end this now.
There are still almost 30 minutes left in this movie. A dragon and a superhero are now in a boxing match because apparently fist to faces is all we're capable of comprehending. Doesn't that mean he turns back into a kid and immediately stops flying? Did he have to roll 20% of the credits to make it explodey for some unexplained reason? Delayed cinematic magic dispersal syndrome is real. Please talk to your script doctor today if you suffer from symptoms of DCMDS.
Billy!
Billy's human corpse is not blown apart by lightning in this scene. Trying to pull emotion out of me when I already know you don't have the gonads to actually let this stick for even 5 minutes. So his parents are suddenly okay with teleporting to another realm for a burial? And how did they get here?
And there are no gods left.
There is one.
Wonder Woman putting more value on her grand surprise entrance than comforting a grieving family as soon as possible. Can something be both a jump scare and something the entire audience knew was going to happen at the same time? Asking for the end of this movie.
You brought this world back to life.
Nope, pretty sure she just did that with the staff. This is still weird, right? Like, she's missing half plus 7 by like 2,990 years.
He doesn't know we're coming, and I didn't want to spook him.
So instead, we'll just get really close, and then while his back is turned, we'll say something snarky, really loud, and surprise him, which is different than spooking him with the vehicle's approach.
Welcome to the Justice Society.
Continuing to tease DC projects that will likely never happen.
I just slither around endlessly, but not for long.
Continuing to tease DC projects that will likely never happen.
Don't turn on the light!
If you don't mind me asking, how well do you remember your childhood?
Whoa, sorry, Blondie, I don't do backstory. However, I am becoming very interested in yours.
You're late.
Do not go in there. Woo!
Yet out of the ashes of this tragedy, we shall rise to greet the dawning of a new era.
Say the word.
She's using the voice No.
Some strength. Surprising.
I mean, he knows everything. Seriously, ask him.
What would you get for a 6-year-old boy who chronically wets his bed?
If they just point that staff at us, we dodge. Like dodgeball.
Dude, I suck at dodgeball.
That's what this sack of wrenches is for. Puny God.
Both of you. Did I do that?